today we are talking about the University of Windsor. And for those of you that do not know where that is, the point of today's webinar is to give you some information, to provide you with details about the city of Windsor, the university. I do understand that as international applicants, it's a big decision for you. So the more information you have, the more educated decision that you can take. And that is the whole point of this webinar. So as the introduction said, my name is Romi Saraswat. I am the International Student Recruitment Coordinator here at the University of Windsor. And today I'd like to talk to you about why Canada as an education destination, why Windsor specifically, and then we'll talk to you in detail about the University of Windsor programs and processes. So, you're looking at, or you're considering a foreign education. At this time, it is a wonderful time to consider Canada as an education destination. Time and again, Canada has been voted as one of the safest and most diverse and inclusive communities across the world. And, it is unfortunate, but that at this time, those are major factors, where you will have recognition, where you will have respect, where there is diversity so that you can share your experiences with people with similar backgrounds. And the good thing about Canada is that we can offer all of that to you. In addition, we do understand that economics is a major factor for international students as well. The Canadian dollar at this point is cheaper than the US dollar, than the euro, than the UK pound, than the Australian dollar. So your returns on investments on your education is much higher when you're investing your money in a Canadian education. I don't know if you're aware that all universities in Canada are public universities. So no matter where you get your education, you can rest assured that these programs are fully accredited, fully recognized globally. And so if you want to do one degree in Canada and then take your credits over and finish that degree somewhere else, or finish a bachelor's degree in Canada and then go to, say, UK for your master's, those are options. And all your credits that you complete at any university in Canada are fully accredited and recognized globally. The Canadian government is making it easier for students to participate in programs. So those of you that have been, tracking the visa process, that have been tracking the admissions processes to universities, you know that it is much easier now to go through that process than it was, say, about 10 years ago. And the reason for that is Canada is looking for qualified candidates to join their workforce. So for candidates like yourself, who are looking to complete a degree here, it is a very easy transition for you to complete your degree and then move into the workforce because the postgraduate work permit options are available. There is direct applications to permanent residency available after completion of a certain level of programs. And for all those reasons, it makes absolute sense to consider Canada as an education destination. If you've been following, in terms of quality of life, Canada has always ranked in the top 5 countries across the world. Recently, the United Nations has released the poll results, and Canada came in as the #1 destination in terms of quality of life. So multiple factors for you to consider Canada as an education destination. Moving on to Windsor. So one question I get most is, where is Windsor? So Windsor is a smaller city. We do understand that. Population of Windsor is just over 200,000. We are the border city between United States and Canada. So as you see on this map, and this whole border that we share with the United States, we are the southernmost city. And the Windsor-Detroit border crossing is the busiest border crossing between these two countries. In fact, the Windsor-Detroit border crossing is the second busiest border crossing across any two countries in the world. What does that mean for you? Opportunities. You look at the postgraduate employment opportunities, you look at co-op and experiential learning opportunities, you look at the strategic location of Windsor and how critical that could be to your program of study. Now, irrespective of the program that you're studying, you know that this region is highly populated. 1/3 of Canada's population lives between Windsor and, up to Toronto, up to Ottawa, which is the capital city. So 1 in every 3rd person in Canada lives right here. And for those reasons, there's a lot of industry here. There's a lot of research and development. There is a lot of technology available, logistics and supply chain, happening here because of that level of manufacturing and commerce happening there. And then in addition, because of our strategic location on the border, there is also the cross-border piece. So our proximity to the United States, where Detroit is literally 5 minutes away from downtown Windsor. We are connected to Detroit through two major channels. One is the Detroit Windsor Tunnel, which commutes between downtown Windsor to downtown Detroit. And then there is the Ambassador Bridge, which is the busiest border crossing between the two countries. And that takes over 30,000 commercial vehicles on a single day between the two countries. So when you have that level of commerce happening in that region, there is industries that support trade, that support communication, that support logistics, that support business and commerce, accounting. So irrespective of the program that you're studying in, there are opportunities available for you right here in the city of Windsor, and also in southwestern Ontario, which is where we are. Windsor, Essex is home to 5 of the 10 safest communities across Canada. So that is one factor that I can assure you is that the crime rate in Windsor is so low that that is one thing that is a factor that you don't even have to consider. And unfortunately, we're living in a world where safety and security has become prime, in our minds, in the minds of our peers and colleagues. But that is one thing about Windsor. It is a very safe, very supportive community. We are the 4th most diverse city in Canada, after larger cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. At any time, you can walk out into the markets, you can walk out into the community, and you will connect with someone who comes from the same background, from the same city. Students tell us that they've met students from the same high schools here. So it is a small world in those ways, where even in a city of our size, our population is just over 200,000. So even in a city this small, you are able to connect with people coming from all over the world. Being a small city has its advantages. The cost of living is much cheaper when you compare it to larger cities like Toronto. Toronto is about 3 hours driving distance, 3.5 hours driving distance from us. Our students tell us that renting a one-room living space in a shared accommodation costs you about $1,500 to $2,000 in Toronto. But for $1,500 in Windsor, you can rent a 3-bedroom house. So if you're sharing that house with 4 or 5 people, the per person cost comes down to about $400, $500 per month. When you multiply that over the 8 semesters that you would be doing as part of your undergraduate program, and over the 4 or 5 semesters that you would be completing as part of your graduate program, that is a substantial saving for you. So the low cost of living, the safe community, all these aspects add on to the value of Windsor as an education destination. And primarily for you as international students, it is the opportunities that Windsor offers. One fact I'd like to mention is that we are the only university in the region. The next university is 2.5 hours away in London, Ontario. So, so anytime that any of the opportunities that are available are open to current students or to students that are completing their program, our students become their first choice. Because of our strategic location, a large number of multinational corporations have picked Windsor as their homes. Chrysler has its Canadian headquarters right here in Windsor. PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, large companies that have picked Windsor as their home because of the cheaper cost of operation, because of its proximity to their clients in the United States. So we are 5 minutes away from Detroit in Michigan. So, anywhere in Michigan you can drive to in about 4 or 5 hours. The same could be said for Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania. So when these large multinational corporations pick Windsor, they are catering to their US clients from these offices because of their close proximity and cheaper cost of operation. What does that mean for you? Is opportunities to work with these large corporations in a small city like Windsor where competition is at a lower level also. So chances of you getting an opportunity to work with Chrysler, with PricewaterhouseCoopers, with Deloitte is much higher when you are in a city like Windsor, vis-a-vis, if you compare it to some larger city like Toronto, where there is multiple universities and also the larger number of students, that makes it harder or more competitive for you to be considered for those positions. One question I get is, how cold is it in Windsor? So we are the southernmost city. So as you can see on the circular map, we're tucked under a lot of the US territories also. We're about 5 hours driving distance from Chicago, about 8 hours driving distance from Washington in the United States, and about 8 to 9 hours driving distance from New York as well. So strategically, very well located. We are in the heart of the Midwest. And ample opportunities. We're surrounded by the Great Lakes, which are the largest freshwater bodies in the world. And that gives you an opportunity, again, not just to utilize those, the facilities, not just for recreational purposes, but also for research, if you're an environmental studies student or environmental research student, or even logistics and supply chain. These are major trade routes between the two countries. So ample opportunities for you to consider. This is just one of the views of our border crossing. So the Detroit River is the dividing boundary between the United States and Canada at Windsor. And in this visual, you see the circular building and the darker buildings on the right-hand side. Those actually are the Canadian, are Chrysler, General Motors world headquarters in Detroit. So this is a view of downtown Detroit in terms of buildings. And on this side, we have the nature walk, which runs across, all on the banks of the Detroit River. So just to give you a visual of what Windsor is like. Moving over to the University of Windsor, we were established as a public university in 1954, but have been in existence as an educational institution since 1857. So over 150 years of educational experience that is available to you as incoming students. We are what we call a mid-sized university. At any given time, we have approximately 16,000 students that are participating in over 200 programs at the undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate levels. So we do offer PhD and doctorate level programs as well. Now, these 200 plus programs are offered through 9 faculties. And in addition to these, there are also over 200 student-led clubs, so that it increases your opportunity of peer-to-peer interaction, to connect with students that may be following the same interest, whether it is academic interest, whether it is sports related, whether it is community related. So lots of opportunities for you to connect with international students coming to us from over 100 countries at any given time. I believe the numbers for fall of 2020, fall of 2019. So last year at this time, we had representation from over 85 countries on our campus. One thing that we're extremely proud of is the number of international students that pick University of Windsor. Approximately 23% of our student strength is international. So no matter which country you're coming from, which country you're applying from, chances are that you will meet someone who is coming in from the same country, if not from the same city. So the comfort level when you're coming in from your city and picking Windsor is much higher, and you can see that reflected in the community as well, because I had mentioned earlier that we are the 4th most diverse city in Canada. Earlier one of the visuals you saw one of our older buildings that was Dillon Hall, which has been on our campus for over 100 years. This is one of the newer buildings, the Essex Center of Research, where our science students conduct their research. So we moved into this building in the spring last year. So 2019 March was when we opened this building, and it's a brand new facility, and that translates into brand new research technology available to you in these facilities as well. So just an overview of the buildings on the inside. We are all so far away, but thanks to the technology, I am able to share what we see on our campus, and just to get you a feel of what the University of Windsor is like. So moving on to the faculties, like I mentioned, we have 9 faculties through which the programming is offered. The Faculty of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences is our largest in terms of number of students and the number of programs offered. Business at the Odette School of Business, we offer a multiple range of programs there at the undergraduate and the graduate level. The Odette School of Business is an AACSB accredited institution. Now, that is a global accreditation given to less than 5% of business schools across the world. So we are very proud of the fact that the Odette School of Business has had that accreditation for over 10 years. And the criteria for that selection is the student success rate, the alumni placements, the student-faculty ratio, the kind of research and facilities that are available to our students, co-op opportunities. So all those are a factor when we consider the Odette School of Business. The Faculty of Education, the Faculty of Human Kinetics, the Faculty of Nursing, the Faculty of Science, and the Faculty of Engineering. We also have a separate Faculty of Graduate Studies that works exclusively with our master's level students. And just a view of our engineering building. This building was built at a cost of $112 million. So again, latest technology for you to work with. Fairly new facility. We moved in there less than 10 years ago. I believe it's been like 7 years since we've been in this new facility, and just so that you're aware of the new technology that is available, along with the old school education, if for those of you that are looking for that. In addition to the academic programs, in over 200 programs, we're also trying to offer experiential learning in some form or the other, especially at the undergraduate level. Where you can participate in co-op, in internship, in field placements, clinical placements, or in practicum teaching. And most times we're trying to build this into the academic program. So what does that mean for you? Is that you must complete some component of experiential learning before you complete your academic program. So the internship, field placements, clinical placements, and practicum teaching are inherent into your program. So you must complete those before you complete your undergraduate degree or your master's degree. The co-op is an optional stream. And the way co-op works is when you apply to a program, and if you're admissible into co-op, you will be able to work full-time paid Canadian work experience terms while you're in the program. So the way co-op works is at the undergraduate level is you come in, you do your first 4 semesters in class. For your 5th semester, you could go out for your first term of co-op. Now, during that co-op term, you're not taking any classes. You are participating and working with an employer in your field of study, and that is full-time paid Canadian work experience. There's a lot of flexibility with co-op, and you work with a co-op coordinator literally from day one in your program to facilitate what kind of a co-op experience you would like to share. So you can, you can put down the list of employers that you would like to work with, or the kind of employers, that are working in your field of study, and your co-op coordinator could work with you to guide you towards those resources. They work with you on resume writing. They work with you on interview skills, because this is like the real world, and the final decision about your co-op placement is made by your employer. So our offices will do everything to facilitate that. But eventually it is your performance and your one-on-one interaction with the co-op employer that will determine your co-op placements. So once you complete your first term of co-op, you come back into classes, then go out for your second term of co-op, and then come back into classes and go out for your third term of co-op. So by the time you complete your 4 years bachelor's degree, you would have completed 3 full semesters of paid full-time Canadian work experience. And that is excellent to add on to your resume. That is excellent for contact building in Canada. Our success rate for our students that complete co-op is extremely high, because if you've had a good co-op term, chances are your employer will offer you a job because they've already trained you. You've already worked with them. They've already worked with you. So all of those factors are a plus on your resume when you're looking for postgraduate employment. So, admission requirements to co-op in some programs are a little bit higher. So typically if a program is accepting 70%, when converted to Ontario standards, co-op requirement may be about 74%. So if you're a good, strong academic candidate and you meet the co-op requirements, I strongly recommend that you apply to co-op. Some of our graduate programs also offer co-op. So, pay attention to our list of programs and see what is available as part of that academic program. In addition to the experiential learning component, you also have an opportunity to work part-time as part of your study permit. So the Canadian government is making it easier for you to work while you are in Canada as a student. And most times, as part of your study permit, you are able to work up to 20 hours a week off campus and additional hours on campus. So lots of opportunities off campus. I mentioned these larger companies, the smaller companies that that are supporting these large presence. We have a lot of trade that happens with the United States. So a lot of manufacturing, industry, commerce, business, all of that is available here. There's retail opportunities if you're looking for part-time jobs. There's 2 malls, there's multiple stores. A lot of the international brands are here in Windsor as well. So lots of opportunities there. On campus too, there is multiple opportunities. Like, for example, I work in the Office of Student Recruitment, and at any given time, we hire about 10 to 15 students to work in our offices. Now, these students offer campus tours. These students respond to chat functions. They are our student ambassadors. You saw the video of one of our Odette School of Business students. Shivam was a very active student ambassador who was participating in activities, whether it's an orientation or welcome week or any of these events that are hosted, you could participate in them and also get paid for these opportunities. So tons of opportunities for you to work and support yourself while you are a student. For those of you that are looking for volunteer opportunities, volunteer work is very big in Canada. So when you add the volunteer work on your resume, that holds a lot of importance, and the Canadian employers do give it a lot of credit. A list of the undergraduate programs, over 120 to choose from, interdisciplinary programs offered. So there are inbuilt majors, minors, double majors, and a list of those programs are available on the website, along with the list of the programs that offer co-op. Typical admission requirements for undergraduate programs is completion of a grade 12 diploma or equivalent. So no matter which country you are in, whatever that means to you in that country, as long as you've completed your high school diploma, you are admissible, as long as you meet the Gpa requirements also. Most degrees require a secondary school average of 70 to 80% when converted to Ontario standards. So from, say, the South Asian subcontinent, we are looking for an almost exact conversion. From South Asia, so India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, first division or higher. From China, we're looking for equivalencies for 70%. For countries which in the African subcontinent, we're looking for a second division upward as the minimum requirement. So look at the GPA requirements. Those that are posted on the website are when converted to Ontario standards. Engineering, science, and nursing may have secondary GPA requirements. So again, pay attention to the program that you're applying to. For those of you that are coming in from countries where English was not the primary language, or which are not on our list of exempt countries, we are looking for an additional requirement of an IELTS score of 6.5 or equivalent. All the major standardized test scores are acceptable as part of English language proficiency or as proof of English language proficiency. So admission requirements in China, completion of a senior high school graduation diploma, or the NCE or the Gaokao are not mandatory, but if they're available, then we would consider those as well. And we are always looking for at least 6 higher level academic courses at the grade 12 level. So in India, we're looking for all major school boards. For those of you in the Cambridge curriculum, we're looking for 5 passes on the general certificate, including 2 at the AL level, or 4 passes on the general certificate, including 3 at the A level. at the AL level. Now, you can substitute some AS levels into the A levels, but again, it would depend on whether it is a required course or it is one of your 6 courses. So pay attention to the admission requirements to the program that you're applying to. For those of you in the IB curriculum, we are looking for an overall score of 24 with passes in 6 subjects, with at least 3 at the higher level. At this time, all programs offered through the Odette School of Business, all programs offered through engineering, HK, in computer science, in chemistry and biochemistry, or in medical physics and physics do have the co-op option available as well. All international students that are coming in with an 85% or higher at the undergraduate level, so these are your final high school grades, as long as you have an 85% or higher, you are eligible for an entrance scholarship. Now, these scholarships could go from $500 per semester to $1,000 per semester, and there are additional scholarships available as well. So, depending on the program that you're applying to, there is academic scholarship, there's the Dean Scholarship, there's the President's Award. So the higher your GPA, the higher your chances of a scholarship. At the beginning of the term, usually in February or March, we will send you information about a scholarship profile where you've captured an information and just to, so that everything that you think you could be rewarded for, you put into one scholarship profile, and our Scholarships and Awards Office will calculate all the scholarships that you're eligible for. So you don't have to necessarily apply to each individual one, or there's no separate application process or documents required for each certain scholarship that you would like to apply to. At the graduate level, we do not have the scholarship profile. There are scholarships available at the graduate level as well. So at the master's level, programming is offered through 2 different formats, at the research-based or the course-based format. So the research-based will include a major project, a thesis, or a research component. We do require you to have a supervisor when you are participating in those programs. So as part of your application and admission process, you must be accepted by a supervisor in your field of study to supervise your research or your thesis component. So again, pay attention to the program that you are interested in and what format it is being offered in. A lot of these programs do have the PhD option. So after you complete your master's, at the research format level, you are able to move on to your PhD programming as well. Admission requirements to the master's degree programs are completion of a 4 years honors degree in your field of study. For students coming in from countries which offer bachelor's degree for 3 years or 2 years, a 3-year bachelor's or a 2-year bachelor's plus master's would meet the admission requirements as an equivalent to 4-year honors degree. GPA requirement is 70% when converted to Ontario standards. These programs also require English language proficiency scores from our international students. So we're looking at a 6.5 IELTS or a 7.0 IELTS, depending on the program that you're applying to. Some programs will require 2 to 3 reference letters. We do prefer these to be academic references. However, if you've been away from academics for a long period, we will accept some professional reference letters also, but we would require at least 1 academic reference letter. So, from your previous instructors, from your faculty members, from a degree that you've completed in the past. The GRE, GMAT, or LSAT standardized test scores may be required for some programs. So at this point, a GRE score is required for Masters on Psychology. A GMAT is required for the MBA program, and the LSAT is required when you're applying to the law faculty programs. Additional documents could be a statement of interest, a research proposal, and a CV or resume. There are some scholarships available. There is grant funding available to these programs. So again, when you have a supervisor and once you've identified your field of research and your project, at that point, your supervisor will be able to apply for grant funding for that research. Again, there is also an opportunity for you to work as a GA or TA on our campus. So teaching opportunities available to our research students to supplement your stay here in Windsor. The other format with which we offer our graduate programs is the course-based master's program. Now, these programs are very popular amongst international students because of the format. You come in, you complete your required number of courses over 4 consecutive semesters. So for a total duration of 16 months, you are in your master's program, and that completes your master's program, which is fully recognized, fully accredited globally. These programs are offered through different faculties with multiple specializations, and the Masters of Engineering in the course-based program also offers the co-op option. Admission requirements are very similar to the research-based programs for completion of a 4 years honors degree or equivalence, 70% when converted to Ontario standards, 6.5 IELTS or 7.0 IELTS, 2 to 3 reference letters for some programs. Not all programs require reference letters. No GRE or GMAT, so very easy for you to submit an application. We may require a statement of interest for some programs. A CV or resume is required. The duration of these programs is 16 months total. So are completed over 4 consecutive semesters. Each semester is 4 months. These programs are not eligible for scholarships or grant funding. You may have access to some work opportunities as part of the program, but you are able to use your study permit work opportunities. You will still be able to work up to 20 hours a week on campus, off campus, and additional hours on campus. And these programs are eligible for postgraduate work permit and applying to permanent residency, just like the research-based programs are. So ample reasons for you to consider University of Windsor as your education destination. And I'm not saying that just because I work here. I love what I do, and I raised my family here. My kids grew up here, and I moved to Canada about 20 years ago, and we had picked Windsor as our choice, and I never regretted that. Best decision we made. Very warm, very welcoming. The university has so much to offer. And every day I hear from students that they are so happy with the choices that they made. In addition to our degree programs, we also offer certificate and diploma programs. These are non-degree programs offered at the undergraduate level. A list of the programs is available on the website. I'm just trying to, to go quickly through these slides, and all this information is available on the website. The admissions component at the undergraduate level, you can apply directly to the University of Windsor. You can apply it through the Ontario University's Application Center, which is the central body for applications. Now, I strongly recommend that if you're applying to our bachelor's degree programs, apply directly to U Windsor. It is a cheaper application. Application fee is 75 Canadian dollars. You can apply to 3 University of Windsor programs in one application, so it increases your chances of being accepted into either of those programs. When you're applying through the OUAC, you are paying a higher application fee of 166 Canadian dollars, but you can apply to 3 separate universities through this application. Recommended application deadlines here as well. Our application is open for winter of 2021. We are actively accepting and processing applications. Most of the graduate programs are closed for winter, but we are accepting for May of 2021 start, as well as fall of 2021 start. Once you've submitted the application, a student number will be generated and emailed to you. And using that student number, you will be able to upload your documents. Once we've received all the documents that we need to evaluate your application, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for a bachelor's degree decision to be made. And it takes about 14 to 20 weeks for a graduate application decision to be made. So, so if you look at the timelines, if you're looking to start in fall of 2021, submit the application now. By the time you get your student number, upload your documents, you're in October. You will get a decision, say, by January. That gives you, 6-7 months to process your visa. So start that process now. It's not too early to start that. In fact, you do need that time. In some countries, visa processing may take up to 4 to 6 months. So make sure that you start the admissions process at the earliest possible. For those of you that do not meet the English language proficiency requirement, we do offer our English language improvement program. These are offered in the full term. They do require a separate application, so I do recommend that you apply to the academic program before you apply to ELIP. These are on-campus programs, so you get your Canadian experience here as well, and these are eligible for study permit. So when you have your offer letter to the academic program, as well as your offer letter to ELIP, you can use both when you're applying for your student visa, and chances are that your study permit would be for, will include consideration for both those programs. We do offer residence facilities on campus as well, over 900 spots available. Even during COVID times, our residence halls are open. We are offering quarantine services to our students, trying to make it as safe as possible. Accommodation is lower. We are maintaining the health guidelines, so we're not accepting 900 students in our dorm. So maintaining the social distance. So for the double rooms, there's only one person in each room. Residency occupancy has been limited to follow the health guidelines, but these facilities are available. But in general, we have over 900 spots for our students, safe living, learning communities. There is always support 24 hours here, Wi-Fi, internet, meal plans, everything is included in these options. Most times students feel that living in residence is very expensive. When you look at it in terms of the facilities that it provides you, not really. You are paying about $1,000 per month, which, when we had said in a shared accommodation, you do pay about $500 per month, but that is just for living. But then you add your internet costs, then you add your meals or your cooking. So the facility that these on-campus living facilities offer you, you weigh in those two, especially if you're an undergraduate student. I highly, highly recommend that you live in residence at least 1 year. There's a lot that you will be dealing with. So just to make sure that that you have the added comfort of getting your full Canadian experience as part of living in the dorm, it is highly recommended. Because of the large number of international students we also have additional student services and a separate department called the International Student Center that caters to the needs and requirements of our international students. So once you are admitted to the university and you accept your offer, the International Student Center is your place to go to. This department offers orientation programs, activities, and events that are offered all through the year. Some of these activities are student-led, some of these activities are department-led. It's like a home, a comfort place for students to amalgamate. So the student tell us that, okay, I'll see you at the International Student Center at 5 o'clock in the evening once my classes are done. During cricket season, they get together to watch IPL games. During soccer season, they get together to watch the FIFA level games, especially during World Cup. That is the go-to place where they have watch parties. Students are there. It's an amazing place to be. It's open to all students. Our international students go there all the time, and at any given time when you walk in, you will see students from multiple countries there interacting and just using that space even to study. It's a very comforting space to be in. They also have a resident RCIC consultant that will work with you for study permit extensions, for work permits, for postgraduate work permits, and those facilities are free to our students as long as you're registered at the University of Windsor. So this was, that was the spiel about the programming and the facilities. In addition, the students are also able to avail of the medical and dental clinics right here on campus. There's the pharmacy, there is a writing support desk, there is academic advising available. So any questions that you may have, if you want to switch programs, if you are looking for transfer credits, the academic advising team is available. During COVID periods, while we're working remotely, you are able to connect with them and they are available on chat as well. So if you want to transfer from one institution and you want to bring, transfer over some credits, do connect with the academic advising office. There is the Lancers Fitness Facility and so much more on our campus. To end my presentation, I just wanted to share this brand new facility. This is our Lancers Sports and Recreation Center. Lancers is our institutional sports teams. over multiple, sports. So basketball, baseball, basketball, swimming, football, whatever sport you play, look at the Lancers website and see where you can, connect with the coaches and see what your team requirements are if you would like to participate at the university level. This is the new facility that is coming up. It is under construction. We hope to be in that building in the fall of 2022. So if you're starting next year, you'll be able to see this building coming. The foundation's already laid. The construction has already begun. So very exciting times for University of Windsor. So I look forward to welcoming you, but also wanted to bring your attention to our ask.uwindsor.ca portal. So this is, we call it our Google for the University of Windsor. So any questions you have, I'm looking for a program in aeronautic leadership. Well, it'll give you a KBA, which is our knowledge-based article, with the required links built in right there. So it answers your questions for you. You are able to plug in your questions. There is over 600, 700 questions already in there. I know if I receive a question more than 5 times or 10 times, I will put that in as a KBA, that response, because I know people are searching for that response. So that is also available on the University of Windsor website. So something for you to go to. Thank you very much for listening.